We bring in ABC News contributor and columnist at USA Today, Christine Brennan, and the acting director of the Wilson Center, Kennan Institute, William Pomerantz. Thank you both for being here. Christine, starting with you, how significant is this meeting between the president and the families of Griner and Whelan?
Deirdre, it's another step in what we have seen in terms of the public campaign to try to free Brittney Griner and, of course, Paul Whelan. This has been moving along, as Martha said, since February when, of course, Brittney Griner was arrested in a Moscow airport. And the fact that we're talking it's still 7 months is extraordinary. Brittney Griner was sentenced to 9 years in prison about 6 weeks ago, and we haven't heard much since then. And so this allows the story to come back and be in the headlines as it is, as we're talking about it now. And it allows everyone to remember, because everyone seems to have short attention spans these days, and just brings it to the forefront. And hopefully, if it's just domestic, which of course we're talking about it in the U.S., hopefully, again, it can put some pressure on Russia, although I don't think there's much hope that anything's going to happen anytime soon. But it's part of a campaign that has begun by Brittney Griner's family, by the WNBA players who've been so good on social issues and looking out for their teammate and their colleague, to continue to keep her name in the headlines, which is a big part of this story.
William, picking up on one of the points that Christine just made, the administration offering to exchange both Griner and Whelan for convicted Russian arms dealer Viktor Bout. Yet to be any progress on that. So do you think that that is still what's in the mix here?
Well, I think from the United States, that's in the mix. I think from the Russian Federation, I don't think that they will make a deal where they send 2 Americans for 1 Russian. So I think that there is a need for another Russian somewhere in the mix of this dialogue if there's going to be a successful prisoner swap. The Russians have proposed other names, some who are outside U.S. jurisdiction. But I don't think that there's going to be real progress until there becomes evident that there's a 2-for-2 deal.
Okay, 2-for-2 deal, even though Viktor Bout is notorious, and the 2 prisoners who are currently in Russia, I guess according to their system, have broken crimes, but it doesn't seem like a fair moral trade, so to speak.
Well, I don't think Vladimir Putin's interested in a fair moral trade. I think he wants to try to get the maximum out of any such deal. And obviously, there's a lot on Vladimir Putin's plate right now, so that he is not focused on the case of Brittney Griner and Paul Whelan, unlike President Biden.
Okay. Christine, I want to pick up on the issue of Griner's family, who has been waiting for an update on the proposal. Since last speaking with the president in July, you mentioned that. It has been a little bit more than a month since Griner was sentenced. So how are she and her family holding up?
Word is that they are coping. Of course, what else can you do, right? You're a WNBA star, a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, represented the United States many times, as Brittney Griner has, and now you're also 6'9", and now you're in this tiny jail cell. It must be excruciating and just awful. And as the WNBA playoffs and finals are going on, you're celebrating these great women athletes, Deirdre, and then, of course, one of the greatest of all time is sitting in a jail cell in Moscow for having had, 0.7 of a gram of hashish oil in her possession. So it's tough. There's no doubt it's tough. But I think that Brittney Griner knows, from the WNBA players, from them wearing her number, all of the signs of support, that she knows that people care and have not forgotten her, obviously. And this just accentuates that. When you're meeting with the President of the United States, it's such a symbolic moment, and that's a positive. Of course, Putin knows that he's got something of value. And in fact, the value goes up every time we talk about Brittney Griner. But obviously, that is a decision the Biden administration has made and her family has made to keep her name in the news, even as obviously she becomes quite a prize for Putin in his, demented brain about an American, a Black woman, happens to be a gay woman, obviously a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. Throw that in the mix, and Putin's probably loving the fact that he's got her and can now have these demands to the U.S. government in a way that maybe it wouldn't have happened in February or March.
Okay, Christine, thank you. And William, I just want to bring in the efforts that the Biden administration have been making. I mean, New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson, as our colleague Martha Raddatz just told us, is in Moscow working on the release. He's been involved in multiple successful efforts to free detained Americans in the past. Can he be successful this time?
Well, it's unclear who Governor Richardson is actually meeting with. But I think this is a very long process. I don't think that, unfortunately, Brittney and Paul Whelan will come home with Governor Richardson. I think that the political climate between Russia and the United States is so poisonous that I don't think a deal really is in the mix right now. And indeed, as the other commentator mentioned, Vladimir Putin will want to play this for as much as possible. And in light of that consideration and all the other problems that Vladimir Putin now has, dealing with the war in Ukraine, et cetera, I don't think that this is going to be an immediate solution right now.
William, thank you. Christine, thank you. Glad to have your perspectives on this issue.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.